Scrublords, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be discussing the SU-85A, a Tier 2 battle rating 4.0 tank destroyer from the Soviet Union. Now, it's pretty obvious, I don't think I have to explain it too much, but this is an experimental tank destroyer that was part of a program to try and upgun the Su-76. As the name implies, it is equipped with an 85mm gun, and it was, again, like I just said, built on the Su-76 chassis and hull arrangement, which is itself based on the T-70 light tank. Now, the vehicle that we're... Now, before we jump into a battle, we're going to go ahead and take a look at its armor profile. And as you can see, it's not particularly great. The toughest armor on this vehicle is essentially a 35mm thick plate on the gun mantlet, followed by 25mm on the casemate and the hull. So don't expect to be bouncing much in this vehicle. As you can see, it's also quite tightly packed, so if you do get hit, you stand a likely chance of losing either more than one crew member or more than one module, which is pretty typical of Soviet tanks. They tend to be quite tightly packed together, and when you get hit, you tend to get crippled very, very quickly. Now, one last thing before we jump into a battle here, let's take a look at its ammunition. Now, it gets the standard assortment of 85mm ammunition, but again, remember, this is at 4.0. This is at a much lower battle rating than you normally see Russian 85mm guns. So, you obviously get the full complement here, so you get the BR-365K, which is a little bit greater vertical armor penetration, but less HE filler. Then you have the BR-365A, which is the ammunition I prefer to use, which is a little bit less vertical armor, but a little bit more sloped armor penetration. And sloped armor penetration is actually arguably much more important than the vertical armor. So this is the ammunition I recommend you use 99.9% of the time on this vehicle. Now, as for the APCR is nice because the APCR has about 180mm of penetration, and it is quite useful for getting through the turret fronts of jumbo Shermans that are hulled down. Now, I don't really get a chance to use it in the upcoming battle because, well, the situation didn't really present itself. However, I do carry about 5 of them to allow myself some potential misses or multiple hits required to take an enemy vehicle out. Now that we've discussed the APCR rounds, let's jump into a battle here that demonstrates the strengths and weaknesses of the vehicle. So here we are on Eastern Europe with the Su-85A, as promised. And so I've decided to take the southern route on this map, and you can take the northern route as well. Now, the way I've discovered this vehicle is effective is in more of a supporting sniper role. Now, I'm driving up to this sniping point up here, and I'm looking through the binoculars looking for targets, and I happen to see a Panzer III-M, I don't know if you guys managed to catch that there, between the houses. So I'm going to move on back here and see if I can set up a keyhole shot here with the Su-85A. Now, I take my best guess at it, and it goes right over the top of his vehicle, just barely missing it by a hair. I know that his shot is going to be rushed and likely not to hit me, so I stay calm and take another shot, but he's already moved out of the way before my round lands. So, it would have been very difficult to see my muzzle blast from that far back and behind the buildings, so I'm pretty confident in being able to move up to this corner without being spotted, at least initially. So there's another Panzer III coming around here, and I'm not going to lie, this was a very poorly aimed shot. And the fact that I managed to hit him right in the commander's cupola and kill the entirety of his tank, I think is a testament to the amount of HE filler in this ammunition. Now, right as I kill him, I see, oh god, that's a Churchill, and I start running. I'm very lucky that he didn't manage to hit any of my, well, mobility components, otherwise I would have been screwed. I would have been stuck there and he would have just torn me apart. He did, however, kill 2 of my crew members, including my loader, so that's going to really hinder my rate of fire for the rest of the game, which means it's going to be much more difficult to engage multiple targets. Now, it would be kind of suicide to go back to that corner only because there is a Churchill well looking at it. And right now I was looking up on this opposite hill here because apparently there is a flak bus that was shooting at our guys down in the town, and I wasn't sure whether or not he was up on the ridge or in the town shooting our guys at closer ranges. I didn't see anything up there, so I decided, you know what, let's just move, change firing positions, and see if we can't find ourselves another sneaky spot. So I'm going to push through these bushes here, and hopefully nobody sees me on the side. Now, I've since changed those white and red stars on the left and right side of the vehicle, as they are just a pure giveaway. for anybody who happens to see me on my flank, so I wouldn't recommend using that. Now, I get up to this ridgeline, and I see a Simovente 46 M43. That thing is a monster, and I hope to do a video on that pretty soon here. Maybe a Unicorn review after I have gotten through another Tech Trees vehicle. I still haven't quite decided, to be totally honest, but we'll figure it out. So I'm going to push across this open stretch while I don't think there's anybody else there. And I'm going to push up to this ridgeline because I know there's another set of bushes there that I can hide in. And as you can see, I am all bushed up. So I'm hoping that nobody else will notice me moving here. I am a little bit paranoid. Somebody's going to come up on my right, but I see this low-flying aircraft, and I figured, why not take a pot shot at it? Unfortunately, as with most of these shots, I do miss. And in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have taken that shot. Now, this Finnish KV-1, I was really scared he was going to get behind that building, but he kept running into it and gave me a perfect side shot into him. This 85mm gun at this battle rating just eats Finnish KV-1s alive, and I think that's one of the big upsides of bringing such a powerful gun at this tier. I see a little bit of movement over there and decide to take a shot. Turns out it was another Simovente trying to hide and take our cap circle. Now it's about this point where I'm thinking, okay, I should probably get out of here. There's potentially multiple guys who know I'm here, and that's when that Panzer IV in the bushes takes a shot, and this guy rolls around the corner, not paying any attention whatsoever, and gives me a free kill. Now there are two Panzer IVs that I'm looking at here. One of them is obscured by a bush. The other one, as you can see there, is right in front of me. The one behind gets hit by a friendly, and I decide to take this guy out, and it just so happens that I fire right as he does. And what that means is that it's not very likely his buddy saw where I fired from due to his friend kicking up all the smoke when he fired. Now, if you saw in the bottom right-hand corner, there was a machine gun round that landed nearby, so that kind of scared me a little bit as I thought, oh crap, there's probably an airplane in the air trying to strafe me. And so I start to back off here to change position yet again. I've gotten a decent number of kills at this point. I've gotten 4 or 5, and unfortunately, this is really how you play the vehicle. It's not a high-octane, incredibly fun vehicle, and it's more of a novelty than anything else. Yes, having the 85mm gun at 4.0 battle rating is nice, but I wouldn't say that it makes up for the vehicle's deficiencies. And you can see here, this is one of them. Having an open top means that you are vulnerable to any which guy that decides he wants to take a shot at you with an airplane, in this case a reserve biplane, and he just ripped me to shreds because, well, I've only got one crewman left, and even if I had multiple crewmen left, he probably would have killed them all anyways, since you can kill this thing entirely with just aircraft. So unfortunately, that's really the SU-85A in a nutshell. There isn't much else to do with it. If you play it as an assault gun, you're often going to get singled out and destroyed, or even if you don't get singled out, then there is going to be plenty of opportunities for the enemy to destroy you with with relative ease. In addition, because you are an open-top tank destroyer, you are vulnerable to every aircraft in the air, so you have to be cognizant of that when you're moving around. And I wouldn't say that this vehicle is specifically newbie-friendly. I would say if you are a player who likes sniping and likes staying back from the fight and not getting involved, this vehicle could be a lot of fun for you. However, if you are somebody who likes flexibility and versatility in his vehicles and likes to be able to rush in and cap circles and move around the battlefield very quickly, this vehicle probably won't be for you. Now, as for my personal opinions on it, I'm not the hugest fan. I personally am the sort of guy who likes versatility in his vehicles. I don't mind playing the long-range sniping role when I have to, but I like to be able to change roles as the battle develops. I like to be able to go from, okay, now I'm going from a flank sniper to now I'm going to support my allies in a push to take the objective. The SU-85A really isn't built to do that, and it suffers accordingly. The narrow gun arc on it and the relative size of the vehicle with no armor mean that, well, anybody who even looks at you, including autocannons — I've been killed by those pasta trucks with the 20mm autocannons multiple times — means that you have a hard time surviving in a close quarters environment. So that's my thoughts on the vehicle. Leave your ideas of how to play it and some of the experiences that you guys have had down in the description below. Do you guys think it was worth it? Do you guys think it's trash? Do you guys think it's the best thing since sliced bread? Leave your comments down below. This has been Many Miles Away. Keep your tracks checked, keep your binos in place, keep your round in the tube, and I will see all of you guys in the next video.